So I figured it's about time to make a Bitcoin update. It's been a few days since I posted a video, so let's go over what has happened. And the first thing I want to point out is that we did get a move into my first zone of support that I marked out in my last video. We did get a move away from this zone, so this zone did hold. But unfortunately, even though my idea was right, I was not able to get a profitable long from this area. In fact, I took a few losses in this zone. The past few days have been not very good trading for me. I've been kind of on a losing streak, which happens sometimes. There were a few good setups that I just didn't take because I wasn't there for it or I didn't notice it. There were some that I did notice and just decided not to take, and some of them ended up working out, like this sweep right here of this local low. I was unfortunately waiting for a bit lower here, and the trades that I did take ended up not working out. They ended up being losses. So, yeah, it happens. Sometimes you just have off days. That is why risk management is important. But there were definitely confirmations in this zone. On that last low, we saw divergences starting on the 45-minute. Even on the 1 hour, we didn't really get like a red dot and then green dot. It's just the momentum wave was moving up as price put in this lower low, but still technically a div. We did not see money flow divs. Money flow was putting in lower lows at the time, which did make it a little sketchy. I think on the 15-minute we might have had a slight money flow div here. Yeah, it was very slight. But there were definitely confirmations marking this as a strong low, and there were some, long setups to be had afterwards. I just unfortunately did not take any of them. So next I want to do market cipher analysis. I'll run over that before I go over what I'm kind of thinking about this current price action, because I think the market cipher context is important. And we'll do top down. Let's start on the weekly. So we do see that the VWAP is starting to point up a little bit. The white part of the momentum wave is starting to close in a little bit, possibly showing that at some point within the next maybe 2 weeks we can see another green dot print here. But emphasis on that possibly. A lot can happen in the meantime. I think if price starts dumping, we'll probably see this momentum continue to move lower. So the daily had this VWAP moving back to the downside. We got very close to printing a red dot here, but right now it's starting to move away from the zero line a little bit as money flow is continuing to move to the upside. So a little bit of hope here that price can continue pushing further up, that we haven't topped out on the daily time frame yet. Or at least that we aren't ready to see a larger retracement here. Maybe we have topped out in this general area. We could maybe see another push up above this value area low. Maybe this does end up being the top before a retracement or a continuation of trend if we come down to put in a lower low. But there is a little bit of fight going on with the bulls. They are trying to continue pushing this momentum to the upside. Now the 4 hour, this is where things start to look pretty interesting. So we have potentially printed a trigger wave here to this anchor wave back here with the direction in money flow, and we do see that money flow is now crossing the zero line. So you could call this a market cipher basic strat setup with the direction of momentum, the direction of money flow. And on the 4 hour, I want to point out that since we put in this low, since we sweeped the range low, we haven't seen money flow cross back into the green. This is the first time we're seeing that. And that is important as we get down to the lower time frames. So on the 3 hour, we also see that direction with momentum there, direction with money flow. Money flow is continuing to put in higher highs. It's trying to put in another higher high right now. Now this 2 hour is looking a lot different. Money flow on the 2 hour is moving to the downside. We still kind of have that upward direction, with a higher low here, maybe another higher low here. But yeah, money flow is not looking as good on this time frame. Now, money flow on this 2 hour, I want to point out, crossed over the zero line a lot sooner than the 4 hour did. It crossed over right about here, whereas the 4 hour money flow is just crossing into the green right now. And as we go to the 1 hour, we can also see this crossed into the green a lot sooner than the 4 hour did. Money flow on the 1 hour has gotten to move into the green, has come back down like the 2 hour is doing now. But it has already gotten into the red. Potentially it's already cooled off enough in the red. Maybe it has already spent enough time down in the red, and potentially we can start seeing that turn to the upside. And in order to judge that, to see if I think this will start turning back up towards the zero line soon, I'll go down to the lower time frames. Because at this point, we see the 1 hour has already gotten into the red, 2 hours approaching it. The 3 hour and the 4 hour are approaching, crossing the zero line upwards into the green. And basically what I'm trying to do is see, is this 2 hour an anomaly? Because, if the time frames below it, like the 1 hour through the 30-minute, 15-minute, are showing that, money flow already cooled off in the red and is now getting ready to cross back up, getting ready for another push to the upside. We could see this be an anomaly, and this could end up looking weird with this 2 hour eventually just turning back to the upside, kind of finding the zero line as support. So let's go down to the 45, and here we see money flow did just cross into the green. It is right now putting in local higher highs. It's getting a slow but steady push to the upside. It was originally a very aggressive move right here. Not really great curvature. It looks like we put in a lower low on that last low and then just turned to the upside, so it's a little weird looking, but that is kind of what I wanted to see. This starts to play into the idea that the 1 hour might start turning to the upside as well. And checking the 30-minute, here we saw better curvature, definitely better curvature, but the follow through is looking pretty poor. We got into the green and now we're just kind of hanging around here. It still could continue moving to the upside, but yeah, it's not looking like great follow through at the moment. And the 15-minute, pretty similar story to the 30. Pretty good curvature here. It was a little slow towards the end, but it did, continue with this upward direction. Eventually crossed over. Now it's, kind of looking like poor follow through. But my point is, it does seem like, some of the lower time frames are more so pointing towards the direction of money flow moving to the upside, which would, make you think that this 1 hour may start to turn to the upside as well, which would then play into the 3 hour and the 4 hour, and maybe this 2 hour is just the time frame that ends up being wrong. And I hope that wasn't too confusing. I just kind of wanted to go over how I look at different time frames with Market Cipher, and how one time frame can play into another, how the lower time frames play into the higher time frames, and how I kind of look at it if some time frames are disagreeing. Like right now, I think more things are agreeing with the 3 hour and the 4 hour as opposed to the 2 hour. Doesn't necessarily mean that the 3 hour and the 4 hour are gonna, really prevail in this case, and that we will see a continued bullish move here. Maybe we only get a move up to the range high. That is key resistance. Is also, the value area low of the previous range. So really, until we get above that, I wouldn't really say that I'm expecting a super bullish move here. But, going back to what I wanted to say earlier before the Market Cipher analysis is, based on us getting a bounce here and things kind of looking like they want to continue pushing to the upside, I am viewing this as a range. I'm viewing this as the high of the range, this as the low of the range, and right now I'm kind of expecting a continued move to the upside, at least to the range high. At least that's what I think the probabilities point to. We could continue retracing here. Maybe this just ends up being a very long, drawn-out downtrend. We still have, more support below us that we haven't hit. In fact, this low did front-run a few key supports. We just barely front-ran this 382. We did hit off the value area high of the up move, but we also front-ran the multi-cycle value area high, the point of control of that up move. So I am still looking at the possibility of us continuing lower. We could just SFP this low, still technically be ranging here, and if we get a bounce from that, I would still look at this as a sideways range. And at the moment, until I see reason to think otherwise, I am looking for this move to continue up towards the high of the range. I think that's where things are pointing right now. So with that being said, I am looking for some potential long ideas in this area. Going down to a lower time frame, I am looking at a few ideas here. Firstly, this low right here just barely front ran the 0.5 fib. And, this could be developing as a sideways range right here, so we could sweep the low of that. That is one idea I'm looking for. I also like the placement of this golden pocket, so that is something I'm interested in as well. And for a bit more confluence, let's take a fixed range pull. That does not really help me out that much. We are right now losing point of control, though, so that is maybe something to pay attention to. But yeah, not too much confluence coming in around my areas. Oh, I guess there's a high volume node around that golden pocket right here is that high volume node that's coming in right above the golden pocket. But yeah, if these midterm timeframes are going to start turning back to the downside, like this 30, this 15, and if we start getting a retracement, I will be looking for things to start turning back to the upside on Market Cipher. And if I get confirmations, I'll be looking for long trades. And I will doodle out these ideas so I kind of remember what they are. I may be looking a little bit higher than this golden pocket because of that high volume node. And, if I take one of these scalp trades and, they end up working out, they could potentially run us up to this range high. So, there could be some really juicy risk reward. And that is, if these plans turn out perfectly. But, yeah, I mean, if they don't work, then I will probably look for some other scalp ideas. I'll wait and see how price action develops. But as of right now, this is kind of what I'm looking at locally. And, on a higher time frame, it's pretty much the same. We're just still ranging here. We're ranging below key resistance and above key support. So we're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place right now. Alright, well, that's it for this one. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, subscribing, leaving a comment. All that helps to support the channel, and I appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video.